Yeah, hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from what I'm used to working on. These thoughts have been skimming my mind for a while, and in today's video, I'm going to make solid points as to what these thoughts are. Yeah, Luke Cage will make a better Captain America successor than Sam Wilson. Phew, that's a load off my chest. But before I break down these ideas, I urge you all to subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as it helps keep the lights on. So, let's begin. Carl Lucas, which his original name was, created in 1972 by Archie Goodwin, George Tuska, Roy Thomas, and John Romita Sr. He's also historic because he's the first black character to have a solo title book as the main character, and his success inspired the rise of other black characters such as Storm, Brother Voodoo, Black Goliath, etc. And he was based on blaxploitation films at the time, such as Superfly and Shaft. And what made him stand out from these two previous black characters that Marvel created, that is, the Falcon and Black Panther, is that he lived in poverty and was created to be more socially conscious. Like, stay with me now, this is going to be very, very important later on. There was this massive push for more diverse characters and stories, so Luke Cage was born. Luke Cage's story directly addressed racism, police brutality, the prison industrial complex, among other things, while keeping things funky fresh. His name, Power Man, was also derived from the Black Power movement, which I find very, very cool. His in-universe origins was that he was a police officer that was framed for a crime he did not commit and was arrested and unjustly put in prison. While serving his time, he was enlisted for a program against his will. He was experimented on, and this origin was derived as a bit after he was created, these Tuskegee syphilis documents were being declassified, and that disgusting experiment was used as a framework for Luke Cage's origins. In retrospect, and if this sounds familiar, yes, this is also the framework that was used in Isaiah Bradley's origin story as well. This experiment gives Luke impenetrable skin, enhanced strength, enhanced durability, which is a brilliant commentary on Luke's skin, protecting him and also being the source of his quote-unquote problems. Years later, this origin was retconned into being part of the Weapons Plus program, and if my Marvel heads know what Weapon Plus is, it's what created Captain America. He's Weapon 1, with Wolverine being Weapon X, i.e. 10. So Luke is a super soldier, and this will definitely come up later. Luke eventually is the only survivor of this experiment and escapes prison, legally changing his name from Carl Lucas to Luke Cage. Luke becomes a hero for hire in a more grittier, rundown version of New York City, which is a juxtaposition to how cities are often portrayed in comic books at the time. So his stories feel more real, and this provides contrast to other characters such as Black Panther, where the character backstory and the story of the character is more fantastical and more science fiction oriented, which definitely has its place. This is not a critique on that. This is saying the two of them are different, and the differences or the diversity is welcome here. Luke was definitely inspired by folk heroes such as Robin Hood and John Haynes, who helped the little man while also balancing his financials, seeing as he eventually starts up Heroes for Hire. He saves people and gets paid for it, and he takes on jobs for pay. And you better not skip out on that payment because he will find you. Like that time Dr. Doom finessed him out of $200 and body tracked this dude straight to Latveria and put the beaters on him for that money. I want my money, dude. Eventually, Luke is partnered up with Iron Fist, Danny Rand. That's my goat, that's my Iron Fist. And the two of them form Heroes for Hire. And personally, you can't have Luke without having Danny, and vice versa. The two of them are like a dynamic duo. Luke goes on to have a relationship with Jessica Jones and is one of Marvel's longest standing relationships, only being beat out by Sue and Reed. Luke has been on multiple teams as well, from the Fantastic Four to the Thunderbolts to the two incarnations of the Avengers, that's the New Avengers and the Mighty Avengers, and he led both teams efficiently. And he was so efficient that even when Sam and Bucky were Captain America, they always deferred to him for leadership. Like it's always been a consistent thing. Like whenever Luke Cage is on a team, he typically takes charge. He's typically seen as a very leader figure in the community. Luke is a strong leader and a good role model to aspire to be like, with his determination as unbreakable as his skin. Samuel Thomas Wilson, aka Falcon, aka Black Falcon, aka Captain America, was created by Stan Lee and Gene Colan in 1969, being the second black superhero created for Marvel, only being predated by Black Panther, created at the and they were both created at the height of the civil rights protest and the Vietnam War. Gene Colan felt inspired to create a black superhero because he enjoyed illustrating black people, and he approached Stan Lee with the idea. Stan immediately took the idea as he wanted to be at the forefront of things, and yeah, that's a very in character thing for Stan to do. But yeah, Sam Wilson was a kid from Harlem who could train birds, and he adopted a falcon named Redwing, and he took on an ad through which a group of exiles just wanted a hunting falcon, but he soon realizes that these were Nazis being led by Red Skull. He and Cap eventually took down the Nazi cell, and he officially became Cap's sidekick. Also, he gets a pair of mechanical wings from T'Challa. So that part is, MCU accurate. Like the MCU actually got that shit down. That he got the wings from, Wakanda. Though throughout the years and through many retcons later, his origins were tweaked to him being a mobbed, connected social worker whose memories were altered by the cosmic cube. Huh. That's a blast from the past. Interesting. And he had a criminal past as a drug dealing pimp. Sam's story and background can get really all over the place, which is often typical for certain comic book characters. And eventually, he's given powers, which where he becomes Lord of the Skies, and he has a telepathic connection to birds. He does join the Avengers and becomes a mainstay in many incarnations of the team, till disassembled when Scarlet Witch brought out his criminal side more, and he was even made a mutant at one point. But that was retconned. Sam eventually becomes Captain America, and his pimp background is retconned into Red Skull implanting false memories in his head to discredit Sam as Captain America. Look, through the power of racism. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Falcon is a throw whatever at the wall to see what sticks kind of character. Even his appearance in Avengers Assemble, in which he is a main character, they had to rewrite his origin story to make him an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. that is a super genius like Tony. In the MCU, we see a completely different backstory, having him as a veteran paratrooper who takes care of veterans. There is no consistency to his characterization either. I don't want this segment to just be, oh, I'm just hating on Sam, but from the stuff I've brought out, there is literally very little consistency going on with the character. Marvel has not known what to do with Sam since inception. That is just my point. Apart from him being Captain America's sidekick, they really just threw whatever at the wall to see what sticks. Sam does have a lot of potential, but they need to get a lot of his characterizations, his origin story. They need to streamline it and make it a single one where they don't come back years later and be like, oh, that part of this character's history doesn't count. It doesn't matter. You either add to it or you keep things consistent. You don't take away from his origins, if that makes sense. For example, Black Panther is always the king of Wakanda. How he ascends to the throne is more or less usually the same, maybe with a few tweaks here or there, but in every incarnation that you witness of Black Panther, he typically has a similar origin story as well as backstory. War Machine is a US Air Force pilot who is Tony's bodyguard and best friend, and this is consistent across every single characterization of the character. The problem with Sam is that he is a blank slate, so they just throw whatever at the wall to see what sticks with his origin, which is kind of, I don't know, problematic for me as a character. Like, Sam's character is a non-character. For at one point they made him a mutant, like, and they changed their minds. So In conclusion, I have basically laid out both characters before both of you, and I truly believe Marvel fumbled the bag by making Sam Wilson Captain America back in 2015 and again in 2019, as his run as Cap, much like Bucky's, was really bland. There's nothing really memorable that actually happens with him. His stories weren't particularly iconic. Most of his story arcs being rehashes of Steve's stories as Captain America. Sam's leadership skills are just there. Like, he's not a particularly charismatic character where, where he speaks, you listen, or he can command a room of presence like Luke can. And like I mentioned earlier, he even defers to Luke in Mighty Avengers and Steve in Secret Empire, where he should have been the main character of Secret Empire. The story should have been told, but he practically takes a back seat through most of the events of Secret Empire, only contributing to finding the original unaltered cosmic cube Cap or some other convoluted nonsense like that. Secret Empire sucked, guys. I'm sorry. Let me not go off tangents. There's also the fact that Luke Cage is Weapon 6. While Sam has ties to Captain America as his sidekick, Luke has sort of a spiritual connection to Captain America as he was created as a way to improve Captain America in universe. Anyway, and there's the racial / social awareness that Luke has. And if you're trying to tell a story of a black Captain America that has gone through everything or all the dark parts of American history, or that racial aspects of coming to terms with the racial aspects of the United States, Luke Cage is the perfect person to put in that position, not Sam. Sam barely has any connection. You can actually change Sam's race from black to white and nothing changes with the character because there's no much of a character to be there to begin with. At least that's what I think. If Sam Wilson is your favorite character, feel free to disagree with me in the comment section below. I welcome the discussion. Essentially, Luke has always been a racially aware character. His personality and his stories even reflect that. His villains reflect that. His challenges reflect that. Sam simply isn't. He doesn't even have like legitimate villains that are his, that are tied to him as a character. It's the presence that Luke Cage and charisma that Luke Cage Power Man has, and every time this man appears, he's sauced up. Like, look, he should not be the mayor of New York. He should be Captain America. And in conclusion, Luke is him and Sam is not. And this is totally not the clip that inspired me to make this video, by the way.
We're the Avengers. I'm Captain America. My friend in the pajamas is Thor.
Oh man, that show was peak. Side the gods replaced by slop symbol. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble on something that's been on my mind for a while. Thank you for listening and God bless.